How's it going, guys? My name is Rich AK with AK Growth, a production house focused on intent driven marketing. And today, I want to talk to you about the consumer goods industry and how the large tech companies are actually going to be trying to take it over for themselves. And if you're in the consumer goods industry, what you can do to protect your brand from the complete onslaught that's actually already happening in our markets right now, specifically with Amazon. But don't think that it's just Amazon. There's a lot more giant tech companies like Facebook, Google, Apple that could follow suit. So let's get into it. Our lives are going through a very interesting transition right now of how things used to be versus how things are becoming. Now, most of us already know this, most of us are aware of this, but there's some people who deny this, and there's some people who just completely choose to ignore it. That's fine. But if you run a business, if you run a company, if you run a brand, if you're an operator, you cannot be denying the fact that the giant tech companies out there, their number one goal is friction reduction. The biggest tech companies all grew because of one thing: friction reduction. They reduce friction for the end consumer, whether it's research, whether it's purchasing, whether it's networking, it doesn't really matter. They care about friction reduction. So it's always fascinating for me to watch it from an outside perspective and look at how these companies are maneuvering throughout the space and how they're completely changing how we're actually starting to operate and our behavior towards consumer goods. Let's take a time machine back to 2009. Back in 2009, Amazon launched its first private label company called Amazon Basics. And back then Amazon was already pretty popular, but nowhere near as intertwined as it is in our lives today. And today, Amazon has over 100 private label products, and they recently just launched their newest products for beauty called Find. And why this is important is because Amazon is a master in friction reduction for consumers. Now, if you're in any of the industries that Amazon has already approached from a private label perspective, you should really be tripling down on your brand building and your brand equity with your consumers. You should be talking with your customers every single day, because at the end of the day, Amazon has the numbers and they have the scale on their side to take over almost any industry. Our behaviors are matching what's happening. We can all deny the fact that we're not online shopping as much, but we are. And we are more comfortable buying things online without first seeing them. And Amazon makes that easy because they give us free shipping, they give us fast shipping, and they give us free returns. Amazon's goal is to become your virtual assistant for everything there is when it comes to shopping. You can see this from the amount of Echoes that they sold last year, which spans into the easy 8-figure ranges. And those numbers just continue to climb. And then you can look at it from the dash buttons that they've created. Dash buttons are basically little buttons that you press that instantly refill and send you a new order of whatever you're out of. So let's say you're out of laundry detergent, you press your little button and then it sends you a new laundry detergent. You don't have to think about these types of things anymore. And that's an amazing thing for consumers, but that is very scary for companies whose main goal is to sell to consumers. So we've talked about competitors, and we've talked about how you have 39 other competitors in your space already trying to compete with you against price, product quality, whatever. But your most important competitor as a consumer brand is Amazon. They've even incorporated their dash buttons into Samsung hubs for refrigerators. So now you see that you're out of grapes. And what do? You close your refrigerator, look at the little screen, and press the dash button for grapes. This is a problem for brands because it makes the discoverability of your brand and the permanence of your brand a lot smaller. Back before we could have one-click anything, a consumer had to start doing some research. That's what made the internet so great. People had the opportunity to find the research necessary in order to see which brand they wanted and which brand they didn't want. Now, Amazon is their brand. Now they choose Amazon over something else. And Amazon gets to decide which products they want to sell to you. So all this friction reduction makes it easier for Amazon to be a completely vertical company, from the discovery phase to the purchase phase. So how is that going to impact a consumer brand that's existing out there? I'm telling you this to inspire urgency from you, your company, your managers, whatever it is that you have to deal with. And I'm inspiring urgency because I want you guys to have your brands be the Xerox of whatever it is that you sell. You know, back in the day, we'd say, hey, let me get a Xerox copy of that. Xerox is a brand, it's not a process. Or we say, hey, can I get a Band-Aid? Band-Aid is the name of the bandage, it's not an actual bandage. But when you're talking to an Amazon Echo, you want them to say, hey, let me get a pack of Band-Aids. And Amazon's gonna be forced to sell you Band-Aids, not bandages from Amazon. This is what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you this because if you're selling consumer goods, you're probably focused very much on sales, the sales aspect of it, which makes a lot of sense. But those windows are short and they're closing in on themselves. And because of that, you need to triple down on the brand equity of what you're doing. You need to start focusing on the platforms that really matter, where we really live. And this is what I do for a living. I go into a company and I consider what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how are we going to approach it. And the reason I love to call branding brand equity is because it truly is an investment into your future. You're building out that equity in every consumer's mind so that they can start thinking of you as the Band-Aid for whatever it is that you sell. I hope this video helps you out, and I hope it lets you think about things a little differently, because you know, it might not come in today's report or tomorrow's report or the day after's, but things are changing, and there's companies that are completely destroying themselves from the inside out because they're not choosing to take the proper steps or the proper action in order to get themselves back on track. They're not considering the Amazons out there that are completely taking over our behavior and how we actually purchase things. So my name is Rich AK. I work with AK Growth. I focus on intent-driven marketing. Everything that I do has a purpose behind it, has a reason behind it. And I consider the landscape of today and tomorrow and how things are changing so that we can make sure that our brands last forever and that we can really build an emotional connection with our users. So I hope this video helps. My name is Rich AK, and I hope you're having a great day.